Boeing is the world's largest aircraft and aerospace manufacturer. It has a market cap of 112.8 billion US dollars, price to earnings ratio of 22.7 and a dividend yield of 3.1%. Let's get the share price graph up, and there we go.
Looks
Chris?
good.
Keeps on rising, eh?
Yeah, that's well put.
You know, no pun intended. Yes. When we looked at these stocks a couple of months ago, you know, I think we took the view that everything was falling into place. Particularly the fact, as we said earlier, that it is a US company, and President Trump is exhorting everyone to buy American. Not just that, you know, they're selling into the offshore. They're doing a lot for the US military. It's looking very, very good indeed. And as long as those ingredients stay in place, I think this is great. Look, potentially in the longer term, I see there's now a new Chinese competitor. They launched, I think, called the C919 last Friday. Single aisle aircraft. That's where the action is today. Not so much your wide-bodied, but your single aisle aircraft. And that in time will provide more competition. But as yet, it's mainly Boeing and Airbus.
Just take me back, single aisle versus the wide-bodied aircraft, what would the competitive advantage be?
Okay, so single aisle would be things like your 737, 737-800, which is currently the most advanced part of that, or the Airbus 319. For mainly, you know, short haul things of flights of an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, that type of thing. Your wider bodies aircraft are more medium to long haul.
The point here is that everybody thinks it's all about the 787 Dreamline or the A380. That's because the small number of people who want to fly intercontinental, that's not the right word, intercontinents, yes, intercontinental is few. And it's only like really rich people, but it's all the short haul flights. That's where the workhorses of the industry, that's where the numerical
And that's where
superiority.
you were saying earlier the opportunity exists in the short haul environment.
Like there are airlines in China that have a bigger fleet and a bigger number of people moved that no one has ever heard of. And those aircraft plan to double their capacity this year and next year and the year after that.
On Boeing itself?
Well, can I just say something about
your
aerospace?
Actually, I forgot about you. Sorry, I didn't mean to just leave you out of the discussion.
So everybody knows the airline, the 737s and the 777s and all of that stuff, and the new Dreamline, a 787. That's fabulous. That's about 60% of Boeing. The other 40% is, in fact, defense contracting, which is planes for the military as well as satellites, rocket systems, the International Space Station. That 40% of the business is also flying because Mr. Trump is spending an extra $50 billion on all of that stuff, and Boeing is a major contractor in that space.
And of course, geopolitical uncertainty has increased, so I'm sure you're going to see governments
I think it would be great if they didn't spend $700 billion a year on arms, because if they stopped, maybe everyone else would stop. I'm sounding like I work for Greenpeace here.
So let's go back to Chris on Boeing and the prospects for the company itself in the current scenario.
Yeah, look, it is quite expensive. We mentioned there, what, PE of 22. It's a bit less than the average on the S&P 500, I guess. But nevertheless, it's a lot more expensive than Airbus, for example. And I think it's probably got better prospects than Airbus. Okay, we'll come on to that in a moment. But, while the ducks are quacking, you've got to feed them, as they say.
Does that mean this is hot?
I'm still very hot on this one.
Yeah, I've seen a few analysts say they're a bit worried about the 787 production pipeline, which has been a bit difficult for them, but all things being equal, I still think the opportunity globally is so strong that one should be hot on these.
So while the ducks are quacking, you need to feed them. We're hot on Boeing.
While the ducks are flying, you need to buy them. That's, I think, the idea.